Welcome back gamers to the channel. Today I'll be diving into the most anticipated MMORPGs released this year, Throne and Liberty, a game developed by NCSoft in partnership with Amazon Games. And this title has been in many games' radar for quite a long time, as it promised a blend of classic MMO elements with some fresh innovations. And after spending quite some time exploring this world, tinkering with its mechanics, and getting a feel of what this game has to offer, I'll be letting you know if it's worth your time, and more importantly, if it's worth your money. Let's start off with what this game does the best, its world and visuals. As right off the bat, the game is visually stunning, and the developers have certainly taken full advantage of the Unreal Engine 4 and some features from the Unreal Engine 5, as the world of Solcium is a feast for your eyes. From the chaotic urban centers like Castle Tone to the haunting depths of Carmine Forest and the desolated monolith wastelands. Every environment in the game feels distinct and full of life, but this game is not just about its aesthetics, as it has a dynamic weather system which directly impacts your gameplay, and you got real-time day and night cycles. For me, this makes exploring Solcium feel dynamic, and adds a layer of depth that encourages you to constantly adapt to your strategies, depending on where and when they are in the game. But as you all know, a good MMO isn't just about pretty graphics. It needs a compelling world filled with lore and interesting storylines, and this game gives us a familiar yet engaging setup. The tranquility of Solcium is shattered by an ancient evil known as Khazar, the Wrath of Conquest, who threatens to plunge the world into eternal darkness, and factions are scrambling to reclaim the power of the Star Silhouette, a relic said to hold the key to defending against Khazar's forces. While the premise might sound like something you've heard before in many fantasy MMORPGs, the game manages to inject life into its world through well-designed cutscenes and rich voice acting, as these elements pull you into the story and make you care, at least initially. But let's be honest, MMOs are rarely about the storylines, and while Throne and Liberty tries to weave a compelling narrative, it still feels a bit generic compared to the genre-defining titles like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. Let me shift gears and talk about the gameplay. If you've played an MMO before, you'll feel right at home here, but this game does introduce some unique twists, as this game features class-based combat, but it doesn't lock you into a single class or weapon. Instead, your skills are tied to the weapons you choose, and there are 7 distinct types to pick from: the sword and shield, greatsword, daggers, crossbows, longbow, staff, and the hybrid wand and tome. And what makes this system interesting is the ability to combine 2 weapons at once, allowing you to customize your playstyle on the fly. Want to tank with the sword and shield while dishing out some damage with a greatsword? You can do that. Each weapon has its strengths. The sword and shield, for instance, is your go-to for tanking and crowd control, while the greatsword is for players who love heavy melee damage but still want to stay nimble. And if you prefer ranged combat, both the crossbow and the longbow offer distinct experiences. And of course, there's also magic. The staff specializes in elements and arcane magic, offering higher area of effect damage and status effects, while the wand and tome combo is perfect for support players and gives you the ability to heal, buff, and protect your party. The combat feels tactical, especially with the ability to morph into animals to navigate the terrain. You can transform into a wolf for quick ground travel, or even an eagle to survey enemies from above. However, while the weapon and morphing system adds variety, combat can still feel a bit clunky at times, and when it comes to cooperative play in PvP, the game delivers a mixed experience. On one hand, the co-op dungeons are beautifully designed, featuring complex mechanics and visually impressive environments. However, the execution can feel a bit frustrating, as you might find yourself waiting for teammates who may just quit mid-dungeon or get stuck behind long drawn-out mechanics that don't justify their lengths. And this can make some of the larger co-op experiences feel like a chore rather than a thrilling adventure. PvP is another area where the game leans heavily into, but not always in the most player-friendly way. The focus on large-scale PvP might appeal some hardcore fans, but the game feels like it pushes this aspect. For many players who enjoy the balance of both, this could be a letdown, especially if you're not into the competitive PvP scene. While there are some engaging world bosses and open world encounters, it's clear that the game hasn't quite figured out how to balance both aspects equally. This game is a free-to-play game, and like many in the genre, it has a fair share of microtransactions. There's a battle pass offering exclusive costumes, and while these are mostly cosmetic, it's clear that the game is designed to push you towards spending money. If you're someone who doesn't mind forking out cash for cosmetic items or small boosts, this might not be a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind. And on top of that, the game has an overwhelming amount of in-game currencies, making the economy feel convoluted. You've got gold, crafting materials, and more niche currencies, some of which are tied to microtransactions. For players new to the genre, this can be a bit of a headache to navigate. But you're probably still wondering, is this game worth your time and money? Well, it depends on what you're looking for in an MMORPG. If you're someone who values incredible visuals, detailed character customizations, and a sprawling world to explore, then Throne and Liberty has that in spades. The morphing mechanic and weapon system are a refreshing twist that helps it stand out from more cookie-cutter MMORPGs. However, its flaws are hard to ignore. The over-complexity in the game economy, lackluster PvE content, and the emphasis on pushing microtransactions could turn off a lot of potential players. And honestly, for me, the game's a 6.1 out of 10. It's a good but not great MMORPG. If you're someone who likes MMORPGs, you should definitely try the game, as it's free to play. But if this is your first MMORPG, then unfortunately, I don't recommend this one. especially as there's better MMORPGs out there. If you played the game, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.